In the last 2 hours, pro-Syria forces enter Afrin to help YPG Kurds Afrin marks the point of collapse for American influence in Syria International chess game played over Afrin Will Assad's forces enter Afrin. In the last 4 hours, how Turkey was deceived in Syria's Afrin. OpEd Pro-Assad forces arrive in Afrin earlier today. Erdogan's mission impossible in Syria. OpEd conflicting interests. Iran confronts Turkey in Syria's Afrin region. In the last 6 hours, Damascus forces arrive in Afrin. Syrian troops retreat after Turkish artillery fires. Warning strikes. Turkey planning to besiege Afrin. Erdogan UN demand an end to military operation in Afrin. Pro-Syrian gov't forces enter Afrin to aid Kurds against Turkey. Russia urges Syria. Turkey. On direct dialogue over Afrin. Turkey shells pro-Syrian regime fighters. Syrian People Forces deploy in the District of Afrin. In the last 8 hours, Europe's security depends on Turkey. EU Affairs Minister says Turkey shells pro-Assad militias entering Afrin to aid Kurdish rebels. Turkish Medical Association leaders released. Turkey, UA 16.18. Putin. Russian Security Council discuss situation in Afrin. Syria regime pounds rebel enclave, sends fighters to face Turkey. Yesterday, Turkey shells pro-regime forces in Afrin. Highest 48-hour death toll in Syria since 2013. Pro-Assad forces in Afrin targeted by Turkey. Turkish artillery fire pushes back pro-Assad militants from Afrin. Erdogan. Pro-regime groups in Afrin issue closed. Pro-Syrian regime forces enter Afrin to support Kurdish fighters. US and Russia allies team up in Syria. Syrians in Afrin show support for Turkish army campaign. Pro-Syrian government forces reach Central African despite Turkish shelling Syria. Pro-government forces enter Afrin to aid Kurds against Turkey. The convoluted geopolitics of the battle for Afrin. Syrian pro-government convoy enters Afrin. Turkey won't allow pro-Syrian regime forces to enter Afrin. Erdogan. Pro-Assad militias enter Afrin, then retreat. Turkey sends special operations teams to join Syria Operation French FM to soon visit Russia, Iran to discuss Syria-Turkey crisis. Syrian troops deployed in Afrin. Locals confirm Syrian pro-government forces enter Kurdish-held enclave. Erdogan claims army will lay siege to Afrin amid advance of Syrian troops. Pro-Assad terror groups withdraw from Afrin. Pro-Syrian government forces reportedly enter Afrin. SDF. 40 Turkish soldiers killed in the last 24 hours. The West stands impotent in the face of Syria's gov't massacre. Syrian troops retreat from Kurdish enclave of Afrin. Russia calls on Turkey to talk to Syrian regime over Afrin. Erdogan says militants retreated from Afrin. Erdogan says Shiite militia acted on its own near Afrin. Video. Syrian TV suggests pro-government fighters are entering Afrin. Assad sends troops to take on Turkey in north of Syria. Erdogan says Iran-backed militia acted on its own near Afrin. Regime forces enter Afrin to confront Turkey. ISIS. Pro-Syrian government forces enter Afrin to aid Kurds against Turkey. Turkey releases high-profile pro-Kurdish legislator. Regime forces enter Afrin to confront Turkey. ISIS. Damascus. Syrian regime forces come to Kurds' aid against Turkey in Afrin. How the US can get to yes with Turkey. Syria says forces enter Afrin. Convoy bombed. Risk of clashes with Turkey rises as pro-Syrian gov't forces enter Afrin. Turkish dollar bonds fall. CDs rise on Syria. Tensions. Pro-Syrian government forces retreat after Turkish artillery fire. Anadolu. Pro-government fighters move into Syria's Afrin. YPG confirms entry of Syrian government forces in Afrin. Turkey bombing pro-Assad forces. Reports. Pro-regime Syria forces enter Afrin to help Kurds against Turks. Turkey shells push back Iran-backed forces in Afrin.